Hello, this is Herb Owen, and I'm sharing another great parenting principle I hope you'll enjoy and can find useful. Today, the 1-minute parent. Now, if you're not familiar with this, you may say, the 1-minute parent, what kind of parenting is that? Well, I can't wait to share it with you. But first, we all know struggles that teens and children face, and many times they're just not prepared to deal with them. And that results in life-changing struggles. One mother put it this way. She said, I have not held my children accountable. They get by with a great deal, and that is not good for them or for me. Let me ask you a question that's easy to answer. Which do you think would be easier on you? To run your children's lives or to have them successfully run their own lives? Well, that doesn't even take thinking about much. You'll say, okay, behave for themselves without me being there making them. The word discipline is an important part of this. It comes from the Latin word that means teaching. Our job as parents is to teach our children. But how do we do that? I want to share something really great that can really help. Now, what I'm going to share will only work if you follow it exactly. So you may want to pause this video and go get a piece of paper and take notes, because it's really big. 35 years ago, an amazing book was published, The 1-Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard and Dr. Steven Johnson. This book was a bestseller, and you'll still find it on most bookstore shelves. It was filled with principles about how to lead others, how to manage them. And the principles were so powerful that Dr. Johnson took them and applied them in other ways. For instance, in his book, The 1-Minute Father and The 1-Minute Mother. What I want to do is combine these and teach you how to be a 1-minute parent. You say, I can't wait to hear this. Well, here we go. It first begins with 1-minute goals. Now, think about it. Goals begin behavior. Now, what is a goal? It's a dream with a deadline. You say, by this time, something is going to happen. That's a goal. Goals begin behaviors, but consequences maintain behaviors. So good parenting must include goals for your children and for yourself, and consequences. Let's say it's spring break and your kids ask if the cousins can come and spend a week at your house. You think that'll be a good idea. So you ask them to make a list of goals of things they'd like to do. And this is the list. Have a lot of fun, stay up late one night and talk, make cookies and popcorn, go to a movie, go to the video game arcade once, sleep outside one night, and have a barbecue on the patio. Well, that all sounds fine with you, so you agree. But also you tell them you got your own goals that you would like the group to follow. 1, be quiet when someone is on the phone, very important. 2, put away the sleeping bags every night. 3, always clean up after ourselves. 4, take out the garbage. 5, wash the dishes. 6, make our beds. 7, share our things with each other. So your kids agree to these, and you both have 1-minute goals. 1-minute goals work well when we have clear goals as a family, we goals, and as individuals, I goals. We strive for mutual agreement so we all feel we are getting what we want from the family. We each write out our goals in 250 words or fewer on a single piece of paper. So it takes only usually a minute or so to read them. That's why we call them 1-minute goals. Our goals are specific, showing exactly what we would like to see happen and when. We reread our goals often in order to make them mental habits, a way of thinking. And we all agree to do this. I take a minute every now and then. I look at my goals. I look at my behaviors. And I look to see if my behavior matches my goals. If not, I make adjustments. So this is what you do as a parent. And you can say, I encourage my children to do the same. And once a week, we enjoy reviewing our goals and our progress together as a family. This is a good time also to make a new set of goals or to reinforce goals that you will keep on working on. Well, you say, well, this is good, but how can I keep this going? What will make my children want to keep living this way? Well, your secret is what we call 1-minute praisings. You say, what's that? Well, I tell my children ahead of time that I'm going to praise them when they do something that makes me feel good. And I encourage them to do the same with me. And then I work to catch my children doing something right. I tell my children specifically what they did. Then I tell them how I feel about what they did and why it makes me feel so good. I stop talking for a few seconds. The silence lets them feel the good feeling themselves. I end the praising with a hug or at least a light touch to let them know I care, maybe a high five or even a fist bump. And then I tell them I love them, not because of what they did, but because they are my children. The praising is short and sweet. When it's over, it's over. I realize that it only takes me a minute to praise my children, but feeling good about themselves may last them for a lifetime. I know that what I'm doing is good for my children and for me. I really feel good about myself as a parent. Okay, you say, I like that, but then what happens if they don't reach their goals? Or maybe if they don't even work at it? Well, you may celebrate with a 1-minute praising when they make progress toward a goal that maybe they didn't reach it, but you can tell they're working on it. That's fine. But suppose the opposite happens. What do? Here's the third step. We call it 1-minute reprimands. When I deal with my children's disobedience, I want them to feel bad about their behavior, but good about themselves. So that's the overriding principle that I live with as I do this. You deal with each child individually and in private. I tell my children beforehand that I'm going to reprimand them when their behavior is unacceptable to me. And I encourage them to do just the same thing with me. It works both ways. They'll like that. I reprimand my children as soon as possible. None of this wait till your father gets home. I tell them specifically what they did. Let's say one of their goals was, when I come home from school, I finish my homework before I go outside and play or watch TV or do other things. And let's say you come home and realize your child is out playing, but the homework hasn't been started. That's the time for a 1-minute reprimand. You tell your child specifically what he did. You made a promise, you made a commitment, and you didn't keep it. And I tell my children in no uncertain terms just how I feel about what they have done. I trusted you, and you let me down. I know you're better than that, but this we cannot do. I'm silent for a few very long, unpleasant seconds to let them feel what I feel. Then I touch my children in a way to let them know I am on their side. I remind my children that while their recent behavior was not good, I think they are good. I tell my children I love you, and I hug them. When the reprimand is over, it's over. I don't mention it again, ever. Later in the day, I listen to whatever my children want to tell me. I realize that while it may take me only a minute to reprimand my children with love, the benefits may last them for a lifetime. Here are some more principles. You see, the more children like themselves, the more they like to behave themselves. You'll find this always to be true. And the best way to get my children to listen to me is to listen to them without interrupting them. I help my children realize that they are winners. I catch them doing something right, even if it doesn't involve a 1-minute goal. You see, there's a great difference between being loved and feeling loved. I want my child to feel how much I love them. I simply let my children know by the way I trust them that I am glad they are who they are. The two important goals as a parent are to help my children gain self-worth and self-discipline. Okay, let's start. It all begins with 1-minute goals. Now, let's say your child reaches a goal or doesn't reach it but accomplishes more than ever before. Well, goals achieved. You're making progress. And what happens next? You know, you win. And you get a 1-minute praising. After that, you proceed with success and start all over again. Set new goals and keep the progress going. But on the other hand, suppose you set 1-minute goals and your children don't reach them or totally disregard them or do something else that's unacceptable. Goals not achieved. Nope, kid, you lost. What happens? A 1-minute reprimand, and you sit down and you return to start. What do? You clarify the goals and then start again. But you never ignore goals reached or goals not reached. If you would like a printed copy of this game plan, you'll find it online at herbowen.com/download/gameplan, one word, gameplan.pdf. And there's one more thing. If this works for you, if you follow through and find success, we ask you to do this. Share it with others. This is Herb Owen sharing another parenting principle. You can find more online at herbowen.com. Plus, you'll find other resources there to help you. Well, thanks for listening. If you'd like, review it, play this again, take notes, make sure you understand it. Have a great day.